is Fran Hill, and I'm here to train you in You're the Balm, the making of a company. I did not develop this program, but I have taught it for several years. In You're the Balm, the making of a company, students learn what it means to start a business and enjoy the journey of creating their own. Students discover the world of entrepreneurship during this engaging course. Through an in-depth study on advertising, students learn the top strategies used to market products and launch research to take their first steps into creating their very own product, lip balm. In collaborative teams, students then analyze costs, product history, and combine ingredients to create their own lip balm product. They will test and refine their product till perfection. From slogans to labels and using other effective advertising techniques, students will put their good work to the test with a lip balm sale, all for a good cause of which they choose. You're the Balm encompasses STREAM: science, technology, engineering, arts, religion, and mathematics. It encompasses them all, from figuring out the profits is your math part of it, using the iPads and the Chromebooks is your technology part of it, making the lip balm itself is your science part of it. Your arts come in with the designing of posters and selling techniques and their logos that they create. It's totally engaging all of the aspects of STREAM. You're the Balm is divided into 9 lessons. Each lesson consists of about 45 minutes. We did our academies after school. We had 50-minute periods, which was just about enough time to do what you need to do, clean up within the hour that was allotted. Lesson 1, which is entitled, What is Advertisement? And in this, the students will learn what makes people want to buy products, and they will also learn how does advertising affect their daily lives. The definition of advertising is a way to deliver information meant to attract and inform the public about a product, service, or business. And they're going to learn that there are seven different appeals that make advertising good. And how I started off is I go to the Super Bowl because that's when some of the best commercials appear on television. And I start with, what are some commercials you remember from the Super Bowl? And the kids brainstorm. And then we talk about what made that commercial good. And we compiled a list, we compiled a list of what they thought was a good aspect of a commercial. Why is it successful? What made you want to watch it? Why is advertising important? When we go on to, what do you think is important in advertising? And we stress the importance of advertising in business, because without advertising, a business usually is not successful. A business needs to get out in the public, it needs to advertise, it needs to sell their product. It needs to get people to come in and want their product. So that's why we start off with advertising. We then watch 2 commercials. I'm not going to show you the commercials, but all my commercials that I used are on a sheet, and it tells you how to find them on YouTube. And one of the commercials is called Maddie. It's about a dog. And another one is called Uptown Funk by Propel. And we watch these videos, and they are what is called an award-winning video. They're videos that have won awards for their advertising techniques. And we watch these, and we discuss them, and we compile a list of what was in both of these. What was similar, what was different. What makes them both award-winning compared to, and then I usually show them another commercial that's not award-winning. And I would use commercials that they're familiar with. Okay, a lot of the commercials that are in the program have been staples and come in and have been around for a while, but there's also new ones out there. So that's where you can change your commercials around, find one. The SPCA ones, we use in this book, they're constantly out there. And we talk about commercials. That's our whole first lesson, is advertising, the importance of advertising, what advertising achieves. I then give them homework, okay? And their homework is to find a commercial and then answer 5 questions about the commercial. And all the homework and worksheets are all included in your binder. Describe the commercial. What is the product they're trying to sell? Who makes the product? How does this ad inform you? What about it attracts you? And the next class, we continue to discuss. In the process of bringing up these commercials in this first lesson, you talk about the different appeals. There are 7 appeals. And this is one thing they will learn from this. There are the appeals of humor. Does the commercial or advertisement appeal to humor? Or things that are funny? Commercials that make you laugh. You're likely to remember something if it makes you laugh. Does it have a catchy slogan? A catchy slogan helps people remember the product or the place being advertised. A catchy slogan is like, bum, 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 and then it goes into that, or something that you remember because of the slogan or the words that were used in the ad. Is it emotions? Does it pull at your heartstrings? The SPCA commercials with the dogs that need help. That pulls at your heartstrings. Sometimes some of the insurance ones pull at your heartstrings. Does it make you feel emotional? The 4th is famous people or famous songs. Do the celebrities or catchy songs catch our attention? We like to see and hear them, making the products more interesting and memorable. A famous person delivering an advertisement. You'll remember that person. Facts. Advertisements give you crazy factual information. A lot of the ones from smoking, kick the habit. Those types of commercials give you startling facts. Testimonials. Advertisements have people verify that they like and use the same product. Like, I like this, or I like this because it tastes delicious. And then finally, scare tactics. Some advertisements are scary with facts, images, or sounds that freak us out or help us remember them. Those are the 7 techniques you're going to emphasize. Each child, each student at your academy will get a list of these. And then their homework is to watch a commercial and then go through why was it successful, why is it advertising important, and then finally come up with a definition of advertising. So they come up with a definition of advertising, and then they find a favorite commercial and answer 7 questions about it. And that is what lesson 1 is all about. Lesson 1, again, goes into what is advertisement. They return the next week, and they have their sheet of paper, and we have a discussion. We talk about each student's commercial. Each one of them describes their commercial. Each one of them tells what the commercial was, what the product was selling, who made the product, how does it inform you, what about that commercial attracts you. And then we move into the meat of lesson 2. And lesson 2's objective is to continuing on with advertisement and coming up with a definition. The definition of advertising is a way to deliver information meant to attract and inform the public about a product, service, or business. And I always write that on the board, that definition, and I refer back to it in the first 2 lessons. We go over their homework, and we start having a discussion. And in that discussion, we try to make a list, and I usually keep a chart paper with a list. What did they like about their commercials? And so-and-so liked this, Jimmy liked that, Jackie liked this, And then we circle the most popular ones that they liked, because we will come back to them when they make their commercials, which is further down in this series. We then start to get into a talk in lesson 2 about logos. And logos are things that represent a product. Nike, the check. We know Nike is the check. The symbols for different cars. The symbols for Apple. And to see how well they notice symbols, we do a Kahoot. Here comes your technology into the program. There is a Kahoot. If you Google logo Kahoot, it'll come up with all different kinds of Kahoot games. They all get their number, we play, we see who wins, and we match up logos. Again, gearing them toward advertisement. A good advertiser has a catchy phrase or a logo. And I also tell them that we're going to have to come up with a logo. So we discuss the different aspects of the logo. The check, a simple check, but everybody knows that check is Nike. So you want to come up with, we talk about logos. And then we watch some more advertisements. And this time I show them Snow Day, which is a Nike commercial. I show them Like a Girl. Now, Like a Girl is an award-winning commercial. It's an excellent commercial. It kind of feeds into the empowerment of women. However, if you have boys in your group, the 1 year I used it, the 1 year I didn't. The one group at time I had was all girls. The next time I had some boys. It is a wonderful commercial about the empowerment of women, but it's done by Always. So you have to watch who delivers the message. Okay, with the girls it was fine. I didn't show it with the boys. I chose another commercial for that one. So always preview your commercials ahead of time. Always make sure that you've seen the commercials, that you know where they're going, just for things like that. So we watched Snow Day by Nike, and then there's one called Time Machine by Doritos. If you know which one I'm talking about, it's the little boy, and he tricks his neighbor to get his bag of Doritos. He puts them in a time machine, he shakes the time machine, and the guy thinks he's going back in space. Okay, that's humor. Okay, that brings humor into it. And we watch these and we discuss, and we go back to those 7 appeals, and we see, where does this appeal go with that appeal, with that commercial? And then we continue on with our discussion again of heartstrings, and we review all our appeals. Then what I do is I'm going to show them different commercials, and they're going to fill in the commercial like humor. And I'm going to show them 2 commercials, and they have to put the one that has humor. And then I'm going to show them another one, and they have to fill in their chart. They have to come up with a commercial that has humor, a commercial that has slogans, a commercial that has emotion, a scare tactic, popular song or famous people, startling facts that's award-winning. That one's tough to know if it's award-winning. So that one we kind of discussed, and I went through them, and I give you a whole list of award-winning commercials to use in the book. And then testimonial. And by the end of the second lesson, they have a good grasp of what advertising is, how important it is to a company, and why companies use it. And that is the goal of the first 2 lessons, is advertisement. You then move into lesson 3. And lesson 3 is target audience. Who are you trying to reach with your commercial? Who is your target? Is it kids 5 to 10? Is it adults? Is it teenagers? Is it adolescents? Who is your target? Who is your target audience? And that has a lot, you try to explain to them that has a lot to do with how you gear your advertising. It helps bring your ideas across to that age level or that particular audience. And a target audience is the group of people the advertisement is meant to appeal to. And then they use the appeals that we talked about previously, the 7 different appeals, and you take those appeals and you gear them toward your target audience. And you try to persuade that group of people. So you're not going to bring some 60-year-old singer who's a person if you're gearing your target audience to teenagers, because they'll have no idea who that singer is. So you want to kind of keep in mind your target audience and your appeal and make sure they're on the same wavelength. And in this we're going to use collaborative groups, small groups. Okay, it was very easy to do this part of it. Now with COVID, you probably will have to do it via a Zoom room or some kind of a room where they can collaborate, but not physically collaborate, so they'll have to collaborate on the computer, again, bringing in technology into stream. And what they're going to do, and they love this part, this is one, other than the making of the actual lip balm, which is their biggest question, when are we going to make the lip balm? They love this part because they are going to write a commercial. They're going to write a commercial, they're going to direct a commercial. I added into, when I did it, I then videotaped their commercials and then we critiqued them. But they're going to create a commercial that is between 30 seconds and 1 minute. And they'll look at me like, 30 seconds, that's nothing. But then when they sit and start doing the actual video, they come to find out that 30 seconds to a minute is a lot longer than you think it is. And then I list them on the board. The video the commercial has to be 30 seconds to a minute. It must use one or more of the appeals we talked about: humor, famous person, scare tactics. It has to use one or more of that. The advertisement must be aimed at a target audience. Who are you targeting? Any product, they can advertise any product, a real product or a made-up product. The only rule is they can't use any type of advertisement that's already out there. And all students in the group, 4 or 5, whatever you decide on, have to participate in some way. Okay, so they all have to be actually in the commercial. And they work on these in groups. I have them start by writing the commercial, and I walk around and I guide them, and then once they get the okay that the commercial is fine, then they start acting out. Sometimes they get really thrilled because this goes into week 4, so it's a 2-week process, and they'll ask, can we bring in props? Can we bring in costumes? I always say yes, but I keep it minimal, only because, remember, it's about an hour long, Stream Academy. 45 to 50 minutes of that is actual teaching, the rest is cleaning up. So, yeah, I usually will say, yes, you can bring in some props, but not overdoing it. And by the end of the 3rd lesson, they should have the commercial criteria worksheet where they fill in the students who are in their group, their target audience, the product they're selling, the appeal they're using, and their idea for their commercial. And then I sign off on it, and once I sign off on this sheet, or you sign off on it, then they can start working on their commercial. And they would move around the room. They'll have to, with COVID, you'll have to figure out a way that they can collaborate and come up with a commercial together. And that ends lesson 3. Lesson 4 picks up where lesson 3 leaves off. They're working on their iPads, their laptops, and they are going to show their commercial. We're going to tape the commercials. Usually I have no more than 12 to 15 kids in my whole class. So we have groups of 4, so it's only 4 groups. It doesn't take too long. The commercials are about a minute, so it tapes pretty quick. But we watch the videos, then we critique the videos, and then we move on to the next one. And we always critique with good things. We praise first, and then we suggest something that could improve. So we give them a glow and a grow, as we call it. A glow is what we liked about the video, the commercial. A grow is something they could improve. Um, After the appeals, then there is a game. Again, it's another type of a matching logo game, and a scenario game, and that's again all into your folder. But time allowing, we play another one of the Kahoot games, reviewing some of the logos and things, and that's the end of the fourth lesson. So in the first two lessons, we zeroed in on advertising. In the third and fourth, target audiences and commercials in advertising. In the fifth lesson, we're going to introduce the research part of this. The steps involved in research for starting a lip balm company. Okay, and there's a separate insert you're going to get with your booklet, and in this insert is step for step, the process for making your own lip balm company. And on this page, they're going to list the groups and then the steps. In order to sell your lip balm effectively, there are certain steps that we need to take. Think of all the things you have learned about so far having to do with selling your products, the advertisement, the target audience, the appeals. What types of things do you need to think about? And brainstorm a list with your group. And this is all done in group work. Then we're going to hit the 7 parts of selling a product or developing a product. And I have this on a large chart that goes in front of the room. Research, target market, brainstorming, prototype recipe, which they're dying to do. The prototype recipe is when you actually make the balm. Process, cost analysis, and marketing. What kind of things should we research? Who will be your target audience? What will you include in your prototype? What is the process? How much will each step cost? How will you advertise? And this is where they actually research all about a company. And they'll eventually take on little jobs. Like, I'm going to be the market person. I'm going to be this. And they all fall into different categories. And they're going to brainstorm, what is our market currently in the category of lip balm? I had them go home one after this and look at lip balms. Burt's Bees, chapstick, all the different lip balms out there. What was similar about them? What was different about them? Were they colorful? Were they plain? Were they gel? Were they more of a chapstick type, which is the only kind we can make? And this is when they really start to get into the nitty gritty. What supplies do you need? What do you need to make lip balm? And I'll be going over the kit in a few minutes. What are the packaging options? Okay, what do you want your package to look like? What are the benefits and drawbacks of each of the different recipes you're going to find? They research history and current lip balms and recipes and cost analysis. And they begin to think about their product. And that's the research aspect of it. Common recipes in a survey, the target market. This is all in this extra little handout. They themselves also get a handout. And in that handout is all the steps of their research. And their homework is to each take a part of this research and look it up. There is a planning where each one plans. So it's really well thought out. When they come for lesson 6, this is where they are really excited, because lesson 6 is prototype. And prototype is actually the making of the lip balm. Now in your kit will be your various products you need. Now I apologize, I have used this several times with several groups, and after a while it's very difficult to get the wax off. But let me go through it. The main ingredient in lip balm are what is called beeswax beads. Okay, this is a pack. This is a soy wax, but they're beads. and in the process you will melt these down. Shea butter, which you can buy, it'll be in your kit, but if you need refills, they sell it at Walmart. It's just pure shea butter. You need flavors. I have cinnamon, pomegranate, anise oil, coconut, and they love this part. They love to pick their flavor. Okay, and some get creative. Mrs. Hill, can we use 3 drops of coconut and 2 drops of pineapple and come up with a pina colada type mix? So it works. Sometimes the one flavor will overpower the other flavor, but they get really excited. You then need zinc oxide, which they sell in powder. You need vitamin E capsules. Again, I refilled this at Walmart after I ran out of my original one. You need lip balm tubes. Now I only have one with me because I've used all mine, but they're clear tubes. You can buy them on Amazon. They push up like a lip balm. They have a clear top and they come clear. Okay, these were from a kit, a different kit that I bought, a child's kit. They had colored ones. You can buy the colored ones, they're more expensive. But I go with the clear mainly because they're going to develop a label. So the clear works really well for the label. Then you need these, and once again, these are the filling tubes. And how these work is you fill the tubes, and then you get all 50 filled, and then when you melt the stuff, you pour it in. So that goes like that. That's the filling tube. Then you need labels, which are included in your packet. They look like this. I know it looks like little squares, but if you cut each square, it rolls right perfectly around the tube. Or if you have larger self-sticking labels, you can use those too. And then I use a glass tube, and it goes onto a hot plate. I do not have a hot plate with me today, but it goes on the hot plate. You pour in the ingredients and you stir. Once the ingredients are all melted, it doesn't matter what order you put them in. I usually do the beeswax first, so when that gets soft and the beads start to melt, then I add the other things. The one thing you would want to do ahead of time, I did not know this the first time, is cut open your little gels, because you can squeeze them in. The exact recipe and the amounts you use is in your book. It's also on your shopping list. But if you cut these ahead of time, it's less time to squeeze them. And this is where you have to be careful, because the hot plate is hot, the kids are excited. What I usually do is have extra adults come in for the 6th lesson where we're doing the actual prototype, and have one adult with each group of kids. You also have to make sure you have enough hot plates so that each group has a hot plate, enough beakers. Another tip that I've learned through the years is make sure you raise the heat slowly. If you raise it too high, too fast, the beakers will crack. And then these come in handy, a scraper, I put that on your list too, because it literally, when it dries, you can scrape the majority of the beeswax right off these things and clean it up. That's what it takes to make it. The kids are excited. Again, you need extra hands this week, okay? And you actually make your balm. Now they're like, oh, I forgot, you do have to put in flavoring. Once you get everything mixed in, you have your flavoring. And I usually require each group to make a different flavor. And also tell them that's a major part of your selling, because you're not going to sell as many if everybody makes the same flavor. If you have a kid come up and there's 300 rolls of coconut, they'll probably buy 1 or 2. But if there's 50 coconut, 50 pineapple, 50 blueberry, 50 raspberry, you're more apt to get someone to buy more than one. That's another selling technique. So and then you add this to your flavor. The only thing it does is the group has to decide on one flavor, because you basically have to make the whole mix with one flavor. So if you have 4 groups, you'll have 4 different flavors. If you have 6 groups, you'll have 6 different flavors. And I would make the groups as small as you can, but make sure each group has their own hot plate. I'm limited to 4 hot plates, so I have 4 groups. But if you can get hot plates from another place and you can make 6 groups, then you'll have 6 different flavors. They get poured into here and they sit. Okay, I usually let these sit overnight. And when they become hard, here are some of my prototypes. Top goes, these are the little tops go on, but here's the prototype. This label is a little, let me get the label off. But they go up just like a regular lip balm, and they go down just like a regular lip balm. They dry overnight, and then you simply, when they're dry, you pull this off. It's full of the lip balm, and then you have a lip balm. They're so excited they come running into the room in the morning to see if the lip balm is ready. But what I do is, since we only have academies at our school once a week, the lip balm has to stay until the week. And usually what I do is I take them out of there and clap them. So when they come in for week 7, they're already made. Okay? I'd say any questions, but I don't have a live audience, so I'll answer your questions at the training session. We then move into week 7. They come back, they're all excited, they want to see their lip balm. I have them all lined up there, and week 7 becomes making labels. Now, the first thing we do is we decide on a logo. The first year I did it, we decided on Nightly Balm. Nightly with a K because St. Peter and Paul Knights. So the kids voted and came up with Nightly Balm. And their little advertisement was the little knight. So that's what their logo was. I don't have any of those left. We sold out of those. The second year I did this, they decided to call it Happy Balm. So it was called Happy Balm, and they just did it with all different the labels with all different colored designs and coloring. So they went more with a individual. The first year it was just this logo. Now you can do a couple things. This group decided to individually, because they wanted all different colors and they decided to do each one individually. My first year we came up with this, and then we did them on the computer with the laser jet, which is another way of doing it. But week 7 is designing your labels and poster boards, because now what we have done is we have created our product. Now we got to advertise our product. Okay, I took it a step further. They made these posters. I have one here. I took it a step further, and we started making announcements in the morning that, You're the Balm is selling lip balm in the school store Tuesday mornings and Friday mornings, and we sold them for $1 these. And then they got into writing little jingles about their product. They sold. And what happened is we ended up being chosen to sell their products that first year at the Catholic Education Dinner, and actually they made quite a bit of money. They made almost $150 some on their lip balm that first year. But week 7 is taking the lip balm, coming up with your logo, designing your logo, printing your logo. Now sometimes the printing, like I will continue printing when they leave or during the week in between, so that when they come back for the next lesson, it's set and ready to go. But week 7 is preparing to sell. And there's a whole worksheet that they fill out about that. What's their advertising plan? And then also in week 7 comes in your cost analysis. Okay, this is what we spent on all these products. This is how many products we got. So we took the 300 tubes that we made, divided it by the number we spent. That's how much it cost to make one. So then we took that and we said, well, we wanted a little bit of a profit because we're putting it toward a good cause, and I'll discuss that in the next lesson. But so we ended up coming up with $1. The cost analysis, when they did all the math and stuff, here's your math part of stream. When they did all the math and stuff, came up, I think it was 89 cents, 89 point something to make each one of them. So we said, let's just sell them for $1. We'll make profit, and all the money was going into charity anyways. And then they got jobs. Someone was the store manager, someone was the banker, somebody was running the stock room. We set up a little shop in our school. We have a school store here, and one person would sell, one person would handle the money. Remember, there was 4 in a group. One person would restock, and one person would advertise, and then that was a Tuesday, and then Friday the next group would do it, and then the next Tuesday the next group would do it, and then Friday the next group would do it. But they actually went out there and sold their product and made money and thought it was really cool. That's what week 7 was all about, and week 8. So 7 and 8 are all your selling. And they kept a daily log. And you have this in your book. Day 1, total lip balms left, total sold, total money earned for today, remaining to sell, and then continued on 2 until they get to all their totals. So your math comes in a lot on that. And then part of 8, there's 9 classes altogether. At the end of number 8, we tried to vote on what we were going to do with our money. Because part of this company was that the money that we made from our company was going to go to a worthy cause. And they decided, not me, but they decided they wanted to donate their money into Stream Dreams. And Stream Dreams is our donation center for our STREAM program here at St. Peter and Paul. So all the money they made was redonated into our STREAM program. And we had a little ceremony at one of our paraliturgies, and they presented their money that they made from their lip balm. And then week 9 is our ending week. We do a chart with questions like, I worked well with my group members, because along with streaming, they're learning to collaborate and work together. I provided meaningful suggestions, and they fill all this out. And it's feedback for me, and it's feedback for them. And then we discuss how our product came out, what could we do better, what would we do better, what flavors worked, what flavors didn't, because in the end, we had most of the same flavors left. So that told us that the kids that we were targeting, the age we were targeting, didn't care for that flavor. So next time, that was a healthy suggestion for the group. Stay away from this flavor, it doesn't taste as good. And then we celebrated by having a pizza party to conclude our academy. So you can see it's not just making balm. They sign up for this, they think, oh, I'm going to make lip balm. But it's learning all about a company, from the advertising to the target audience, to the selling, to the research behind the product. Okay? They found out, backtracking, they found out what shea butter was for. They found out what vitamin E was for in lip balm. Okay, one makes it creamy, one protects their lips, one gives it, zinc oxide gives it SPF for the sun protection. They've learned what each one of these products had to do with lip balm. So they did the research, and in the end, they felt incredible. So that's what it is. It's the making of a company. And the company just happens to be made from lip balm, which is something easy and simple, and you can do in 1 week. In one 50-minute class, you can make the lip balm. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. I can answer all your questions. My email is in your packet. It's really a lot of fun, and it's not that hard. There's not a lot of prep time. It's pretty straightforward. Everything you need is in this booklet, step by step. All the worksheets you need, all the papers you need, your shopping list, and in your first kit that you're going to get will be enough for your first run through to make it. And the kids really, really enjoyed it. And you can even name your company. We were the Nightly Balm Company, is what we ended up being, because we sold the Nightly Balms. So thanks for listening. I hope you learned something. And if you need anything, email me.